It is evident from this discussion that indeed a state has the authority to stop its Muslim citizens from committing a crime and to punish them if they do. But positively, a state has no authority to require anything of the Muslims except the prayer and the zakah. For example, it cannot force a Muslim to keep fasts, nor can it compel him to offer Hajj, even if it is known that he has a financial position to do so. Nor can it pass a law for compulsory military recruitment for the purpose of jihad. In short, as far as the legislation against crimes is concerned, it has all the authority to do so. But regarding positive requirements of the Shari'ah, except for the prayer and zakah, it can only urge and exhort, educate and indoctrinate Muslims to fulfill them. Its jurisdiction ends here in this regard. In the sermon of the last Hajj, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is reported to have said, "Indeed, your lives, your wealth, and your honor are as sacred and inviolable as this day of sacrifice of yours, in this city of Mecca of yours, in this month of Zulhajj of yours." Al-Bukhari, Al-Jami As-Sahih, page 16, Hadith number 67. These are the rights of the Muslim citizens. As far as the rights of non-Muslim citizens are concerned, any agreement can be made with them regarding their rights, keeping in view the circumstances and the various international accords one is bound with. In this regard, perhaps the best example before the Muslims is the pact made by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ before Itmam al-Hujjah with the Jews of Medina. It is known as the Mithaq of Medina. Similar pacts were made by Muslims later on with some other nations. Obviously, they can be made on any mutually agreed terms and conditions depending upon the circumstances. Consequently, if the Mithaq of Medina is studied, one can see that one of its statutes clearly says that after accepting the political sovereignty of Muhammad ﷺ, the Jews and the Muslims are equal citizens of this state of Medina, and therefore the Jews will have the same rights as the Muslims have here. The statute reads, "And the Jews of Bani Auf are acknowledged like the Muslims as one independent group. As far as religion is concerned, the Jews shall remain on theirs, and the Muslims and their allies on theirs." Ibn Hisham, As-Sirah An-Nabawiyya, volume number 2, page 107. Here, no one should present the 29th verse of Surah Tawbah, whose text is reproduced below, to refute what has been said above. However, it is evident from the words of the context of this verse that it is related to those people of the book who were subjected to Itmam al-Hujjah by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and who, as a consequence of their blatant denial of the truth, in spite of being convinced of it, were punished in this world according to the established law of the Almighty. If they wanted to escape the punishment of death in order to live in the Muslim state, they were first required to pay jizya to the state, and second, to live in subservience to it. The words of the Quran are, قاتلوا الذين لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ولا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله ولا يدينون دين الحق من الذين أوتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Fight those among the people of the book who believe not in God or the last day, nor hold that forbidden which has been forbidden by God and His Messenger, nor adopt the religion of truth as their own religion, until they pay the jizya after being subdued and live a life of submission. Surah number 9, verse 29. This directive is a corollary of the law of Itmam al-Hujjah and specific to the people to whom the truth had been conclusively communicated. After them, it has no bearing on other Muslims of the world. 5. The state system. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ, and their system is based on their consultation. Surah number 42, verse 38. The system of government of a state is based on the above quoted verse. The extensive meaning this short verse encompasses and the guidance obtained from it about the political setup envisaged by Islam need a detailed discussion which follows. The first word that occurs in the verse is amr. It has many meanings in Arabic. However, it is quite evident from the context and placement of this verse that here it means system. This meaning has been incorporated in it from the depth found in its general meaning of directive. When the word directive becomes related to people, it prescribes certain limits for itself and establishes certain rules and regulations. In such cases, it implies the directives which emanate from political authority as well as the state system. A little deliberation shows that the English word system is used to convey the same meaning. Since the Quran has not specified it by any other adjective except by appending it to a pronoun, all subsystems which are part of the political system must be considered included in its connotation. In fact, all affairs of state, like the municipal affairs, national and provincial affairs, political and social directives, rules of legislation, delegation and revocation of powers, dismissal and appointment of officials, interpretation of Islam for the collective affairs of life, all of them fall under the principle laid down in this verse. In other words, no area or department of a Muslim state can be beyond the jurisdiction of this principle. Next comes the word shura. It is a verbal noun of the category fu'ala and means to consult. Owing to the fact that this word occurs as a khabar in the given verse, the meaning of the verse is not the same as of the verse shawirhum fil amr fa iza azamta fatawakkal ala Allah. Consult them in the affairs of the state, and when you reach a decision, put your trust in God. Surah number 3, verse 159. This verse is often quoted as its parallel. To convey the same meaning as this word, the verse should perhaps have been something like وَفِي الْأَمْرِ هُمْ يُشَاوَرُونَ, and in the affairs of state they are consulted. In this case, it would have been necessary that in the whole society the rulers and the ruled be distinct. The ruler in such a case would have to be divinely appointed or be someone who had seized power by force or nominated by an innocent imam. Through whatever means he reached the position of head of state, he would only have been bound to consult people in matters of national interest before forming his own opinion. He would not have been bound to accept a consensus or a majority opinion. Acceptance or rejection of an opinion would have rested on his discretion. He would have all the right to accept a minority opinion and reject a majority one without any hesitation. However, the style and pattern of the words amruhum shura bainahum, or their system is based on their consultation, demands that even the head of a state be appointed through consultation, the system itself be based on consultation, everyone should have an equal right in consultation, whatever is done through consultation should only be undone through consultation. Everyone that is part of the system should have a say in its affairs, and in the absence of a consensus, the majority opinion should decide the matter. The difference in meaning of the two verses can be appreciated if the following example is kept in mind. If it is said, "The ownership of this house shall be decided after consulting these 10 brothers," then it means that only the 10 brothers have the authority to make decisions, and the opinion of any one of them cannot prevail over the others. If all of them do not agree on the matter, a majority opinion would be decisive. But if the above sentence is changed a little to, "In deciding the ownership of this house, these 10 brothers shall be consulted," then this sentence only means that someone else has the final say. It will be his opinion which will be regarded as final. The only thing he must do is to consult the 10 brothers before forming his own opinion. Obviously, he cannot be forced to accept the consensus or majority opinion of the brothers. Since, in the opinion of this writer, the collective system of the Muslims is based on amruhum shura bainahum, the election of their ruler as well as their representatives must take place through consultation. Also, after assuming a position of authority, they will have no right to overrule a consensus or majority opinion of the Muslims in all the collective affairs. Maulana Abul Ala Maududi comments on this verse in the following words. The words Amruhum Shura Bainahum, or their system is based on their consultation, by their nature and scope entail 5 things. First, people whose interests and rights relate to the collective affairs should be given the freedom to express their opinion, and they should be kept totally aware of the actual way in which their affairs are being run. They should also have the right to object and to criticize if they see anything wrong in the way their affairs are being conducted by those in authority, and the right to change these leaders if the faults are not rectified. It is outright dishonesty to forcibly silence people or to run affairs without taking them into confidence. No one can regard this attitude to be in accordance with this verse. Second, the person who is entrusted to run the collective affairs of the people should be chosen through their absolute free consent. Consent obtained through force and intimidation, greed and gratification, deception and fraud is no consent at all. The ruler of a country is not one who obtains this position by hook or by crook. The real ruler is the person whom people choose freely without any compulsion. Third, people chosen for consultation should enjoy the confidence of the majority. Consequently, those who are worthy of consultation can in no way be thought to enjoy the confidence of the people in the truest sense if they acquire this position through force, extortion, fraud, or by leading people astray. Fourth, people who are consulted must express their opinions in accordance with their knowledge, faith, and conscience, and should have the complete freedom for such expression. If because of fear, greed, or some prejudice, people are led to give opinions which are against their belief and conscience, then this is disloyalty and infidelity, and is a negation of the principle of consultation. Fifth, a decision which is made through the consensus or majority opinion of the members of the Shura, or which has the mandate of people behind it, must always be accepted. Because if one person or group insists on an opinion, then consultation becomes useless. The Almighty has not said they are consulted in their affairs. On the contrary, He has said their system is based on their consultation. Merely consulting people does not fulfill this directive. It is necessary that a consensus or majority opinion be considered as decisive in running the affairs. Abul Ala Maududi, Tafhimul Quran, Volume 4, pages 509 to 510. Before his death, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ clarified on the basis of this very principle that the Quraysh would be his successors and not the Ansar. He is reported to have said, "Our political authority shall remain with the Quraysh. In this matter, whoever opposes them, as long as they follow Islam, God shall cast him face down in hell." Al-Bukhari, Al-Jami As-Sahih, page 1229, Hadith number 7139. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ stated thus the reason for the decision he had declared. People in this matter follow the Quraysh. The believers of Arabia are the followers of their believers, and the disbelievers of Arabia are the followers of their disbelievers. Al-Bukhari, Al-Jami As-Sahih, page 588, Hadith number 3495. Thus the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made it very clear that since the majority of the Arabian Muslims professed confidence in the Quraysh, they were solely entitled to take charge as the rulers of Arabia in the light of the Quranic directive, Amruhum Shura Bainahum, or their system is based on their consultation, and that they would be passed on the political authority not because of any racial precedence or superiority, but only by virtue of this position.